It's now time for the Coaches Show on News Talk 1250 KBRF and KBRFradio.com, presented by the Viking Cafe and brought to you by the Minnesota Motor Company, Lake Region Healthcare, Nelson Auto Center, Quality Toyota, and by Running Stitches. Now for the Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe, here's Craig Olson.
You get the graduated ones.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Coaches Show. Mark Johnson sitting in for Craig Olson today. Again, the Coaches Show is sponsored by the Viking Cafe. And I just want to remind people that they can text Viking to 321-1926 and win a $25 gift certificate. And I want to let you know I'm sitting in for Craig Olson today as he and his wife Sue are on the East Coast visiting Craig's brother and sister-in-law having some health issues. So we'll pray for Craig and Sue as they're gone, and also for Craig's brother and sister-in-law too. We're going to get right to it. Derek Abrams, you made it in the studio. He came and couldn't get in at first, but
eventually got in through the high security there. So,
yeah. So, and good to talk to you, Derek, as always. Thanks for coming in. I know you were with your son John watching him last night down at Ricori.
Yep.
And this is a busy time of the year. And let's just, start talking about some of those things going on. We're going to talk to Jamie a little bit later on in the program. 5 girls going to the semifinal, the sections, and then the team to the section finals. But talk about that whole process.
So, they had 2 rounds. As a team, it's pretty much like any other sport where you have a quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, and you play as a team. Simultaneously with that, you can enter singles players. So any 2 that you want, you can put into 2 single spots, and then they get seeded with 2 singles players from all the other teams, and same with doubles. And it's completely separate from the team. And so that tournament was yesterday, the first 2 rounds of that. And we had 5 individuals move on to sections, which is in essence the semifinals. So now they'll play it out in the top 2 singles teams, top 2 singles players from the section. The top 2 doubles teams from the section will also go to state, along with the winner of our match against Becker next Friday at 3:00.
Pretty exciting, too. You were heavily involved in the tennis program, coaching, too, but those guys having a great year.
They had a fantastic year, and they had a great year last year. You could kind of see it building over the past few years, and I watched it quite a bit. Obviously, I have a history as a tennis coach, but my daughter had played for 5 years too on the team and graduated a couple of years ago. So you could really see this team coming along and building, and the work that they put into it and everything.
And then up next, the girls soccer. And they have their last game today, and the boys play a couple more games. But, so talk about that and where the things will look there.
So both boys and girls soccer, they finish up today. They have their last regular season game today. Boys are at Pelican, and girls are hosting Albany here this afternoon. And the boys, we know, they seeded yesterday with a coach's vote. So we got the 6th seed, so we are going to Wilmer at 3:00 on next Wednesday for the first round of the playoffs, quarterfinals. The girls will seed officially QRF on Monday, but pretty sure they're going to St. Cloud on Thursday. So the boys are on Wednesday afternoon, and then the girls will be Thursday night for their quarterfinals. So, those regular seasons are wrapping up today as well.
Yeah, it's been fun too. Just following the swimming and diving team. Girls are having a great year, and talk about that. And
they really are. And again, that's another like our tennis team where you could just see them continuing to build. They've graduated some key pieces, but yet they have a nice foundation of returning swimmers with Versteeg and Fear and all those guys that were at state last year and are back this year. So, excuse me, we're doing a nice job, very competitive in all of our duels. A couple more wins again this last week, and so they're doing a really nice job. The divers are coming along too. That was one area where we were really young, and we hired a new diving coach. Megan Schertzine came in this year, and she's done some wonderful things. And they went to a tournament today just for divers, down in Sauk Rapids, and that's really good for our young divers. They're getting 11 dives today, which is like a state tournament. So, they've been exciting to watch, and we're looking forward to hopefully some state tournament participants. But again, that's going to be late November, so
Yeah,
they're one of the
yeah.
last ones to finish.
Yeah. It's fun driving up to a game. I was last week or the week before I drove up for a volleyball game, and swimming, diving is going on. Volleyball is going on. I could hardly find a parking spot, which is a good thing. But volleyball team is hoping to get a home playoff game.
They're right on that edge. They've been some huge wins, getting the sweep from Detroit Lakes, who just a couple of years was a state tournament team and has knocked us out of the playoffs a couple of times here. Excuse me, the last couple of years. So just to have to be able to do that has been great, and they've been very competitive. I mean, we ran into a bus off Sauk Rapids, just like everybody else has, but they've been fun to watch, competitive through and through, and they right now in a tough section with some good teams. They're sitting right in the middle around that 4 or 5. So
yeah, I know that's one of their goals.
Yep.
You had the John Hermes Invitational. I know it was a big day, but talk about cross country and where their schedule sits now.
They got a couple weeks that we still go into just past MEA here, and then they'll have their section meet. We have Alexandria today, and then Perham next week, and then it'll conference meet, CLC meet, and then sections this year again. And we'll see how they do. They graduated a lot of kids. The girls team a couple years ago, boys team this year graduated a lot from last year. But they're competing right there. Cassie Wellman continues to just to dominate out there, and she's so much fun to watch run, and she's still only a junior. So they're a lot of fun to watch. And again, hoping to at least get some individuals down there at the state tournament like Cassie's done the past few years.
Before going on the air, I was talking with Derek. We both have sons on the football team right now, and we're kind of keep similar schedules. And when your daughter Bella was playing too, but when do you sleep too? This time of the year, I know Craig talks about that too, but let's talk about that a little bit. And I want to kind of open the hood a little bit, get behind the, as far as your involvement too with the CLC and the section. What are some of the leadership positions you have right now, in addition to just regular scheduling?
I've been on a couple of committees with the Minnesota State High School League as well. I was on the ninth grade governance board. That was a big change with ninth grade being at the State High School League, and we met 23 times in 10 months.
Hopefully some Zooms, huh?
A lot of Zooms, quite a few down in the cities. The Why We Play campaign and the inside out coaching and things like that. But between the CLC, we've had quite a few meetings, some changes there, and then just being here. I mean, the main part of my job is just, during the day, it's obviously the organizing the things and everything, but just being at events and obviously I love being at events. There's some late nights and lack of sleep for sure, but at the same time, it doesn't matter if I'm going to a swim meet or a tennis match. It's going out there, watching kids, watching otters compete in their sport that they love is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
Thinking about that, being a parent of athletes too, I go on that Otters activity app all the time.
Yep.
And if if listeners and viewers aren't familiar with that, it's awesome because you can find out where to go and where it's broadcast. But I look at it sometimes, especially Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and like, this is still Tuesday as I plumb through it. But you have great help with Amber too, and here she was at the football game last night on the road.
She came down as well. She loves to go to this, and she's coaching soccer right now. So right now she's getting ready for a soccer game, our last one with Albany here, and there's no question she's kind of the heartbeat of the office and keeps me in line, which is a full-time job. But all the stuff that you see and all really the organizational part of it's her. I mean, she does all the behind the scenes that people don't see. I show up at the games and I'm there, but a lot of the majority of that work, even this Friday, I'm not going to be able to be there because of tennis. I'll be at tennis, and we're hosting a football game, and no worries, she will take care of everything, and so unbelievable job. Can't say enough. She's already probably upset with me saying this much, but
the social media presence too is really it's a world we live in.
It is, and it's and none of that stuff's on her job description or required or whatever. It's just something she just knows that I think the kids enjoy, that the parents like to see, and the community, and we try to keep them informed, and she just does a fantastic job. That's not me. I wouldn't know how to do any of that.
switching gears here just a little bit too, we'll roll into the winter season here, pretty soon, and I know sometimes they overlap depending on how you go on the playoffs.
About 23 days.
Yeah, about 23 days. And it's a long season, but I know, talk about just some of the personnel changes, that's taking place going into winter.
Yep. So in just over 20 days, on the 27th of October, girls hockey starts, and we have a new coach, Isaac Bottensdahl, a well-known name in the hockey community here in Fergus Falls, and he's going to do a fantastic job. So we're excited. We're still in the stages of putting some things together with him. We talk often right now.
Yeah.
So that's probably our biggest change in the winter, outside of maybe some assistants and things like that. But no, it will be here fast. We're already on my calendar. I have meetings set up with all of our winter coaches because it doesn't seem like it's possible.
I know it. When it was 85 degrees.
I was just going to say, with it 85 degrees again today, it feels like we should be. It's August, but we're meeting now with all the winter coaches to make sure we're set. And about 5 weeks from now, most of them will get going in practice, and 6 weeks from now, we'll be starting games for our winter activities. So
yeah, wanted to mention one other thing too. Just seeing the success of our teams, it's about the kids, but it's got to bring great satisfaction to you personally too when you go throughout the organization. And I wanted to give a shout out to Paul Ratz. People have no idea what goes on to make our athletes successful, and he's one of those guys. Can you just talk
every
a few minutes
day
about Paul?
He runs our weight room, and he's there every day. Most Saturday mornings, he's in there with the football team that comes in and kind of does a lift or a stretch after their games. But every single day, he is in that weight room, and all summer long, he's in that weight room. And that he just does a great job with them. He sets up individual things. As a coach, I can go to him and say, I want a program for my tennis players in season, off season, or you can go from football to tennis to swimming, and he's got a program for them. And he does a great job providing a place for them. And we really see that difference in all of our sports. You think of football, you think of some things like that, but it really, that strength, that conditioning, it's the speed and agility drills that he does. We see it in all of our sports.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yep.
Well, thanks, Derek, for coming in. It's good to talk to you. You like this too. And don't forget to grab your biscuits and gravy.
Okay.
Yeah, as we speak, most of my family is at the Viking Cafe right now, as our son Isaac will be leaving for Canada for hockey. Man. So, but I'm going to enjoy the take to go. So
absolutely.
Yeah, and don't forget to text Viking to 321-1926 and a drawing for a $25 Viking Cafe gift certificate. Coaching Show continues, brought to you by the Viking Cafe after this break. Thanks, Derek.
Thank you.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe, with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
The 2025 model year closeout sale has begun at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. Right now, take advantage of big savings on the remaining 2025 vehicles in stock. Vehicles like the luxurious Buick Enclave, the stylish and efficient Buick Envista, or the powerful Chevy Silverado are at their lowest prices of the year and won't last long. Your new vehicle is waiting. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number? I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota. The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe, with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
we're healthy. We got things to look forward to on Saturday.
That's right. That's right.
So,
welcome back to the Coaches Show, brought to you by the Viking Cafe. I'm joined by head coach Chris Grabowski of the Fergus Falls football team. And Chris, before going on the air, we just said, good thing that there's more to life than football.
Exactly. Yeah,
we got
a lot to look forward to on Saturday. We got families. We're healthy.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's for sure. So, kind of a slugfest last night. Two heavyweights. Ricori, their storied program, great coach and Coach Enns, and yourself too, 5-0. They're 4-1, and we talked before the game, just about Ricori and their passing attack, and they were a handful, weren't they, last night? No question.
Yeah, I thought they executed extremely well on offensive side of the ball last night. I don't think they had hardly any drop passes. We couldn't get off the field on 3rd and long. They executed 3rd down plays. Hats off to them. They're a well-coached team. They were ready. They came out and executed it really well on both sides of the ball. So we knew they were going to be a great team, and we had to execute at a high level as well. And unfortunately, we didn't last night. So, but it's not a section game, and we just got to learn from our mistakes and see what we got to do to improve moving forward. And the good news is we got a lot of season left.
Yeah, that is for sure. Take us into your world a little bit after a game like that last night with huddle and everything too. But are you one of those guys after the game that you're right into the film, or do you let it soak in a little bit and look at it now today or tomorrow?
Well, usually on the bus ride home, I kind of think of certain plays and I go back and kind of rewatch them. But definitely, you rehash the game. Once you get on the bus and all the way back, and doing laundry last night, you'd sit there and you think and you tinker and like what could have we done better? What could have we done in this situation, and what adjustments do we got to make going forward? So, yeah, the mind really doesn't really rest during football season.
Yeah. So in the football game, they get the football back and they score on their first 2 possessions, and their Wildcat was, you knew it was coming.
Yep.
When number 10 came on the field, they threw late in the game out of that too. But just talk about that first quarter. Uncharacteristic, we did have a couple turnovers.
Yeah, we got the ball first, and I thought we were moving the ball really well on offense. We were really good between the 20s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we just got to be able, if we go back and play those situations out again, and we execute and finish those drives, I think it's a different ball game, right? So that first drive, we take that pass back, and we were moving the ball really well on the ground, and we just decided to mix it up a little bit, and just the ball was a little off target, I thought. We go back and get those plays over again and go down and score. It's a different game.
Yeah.
So those are the kinds of things we got to look at, and remind the kids, say, hey, you take these plays away,
you're right.
It's a different ball game. We're right there.
Yeah. You did answer back though. It was 14-0, and just a really nice play there on that pass. And Eston, Pee Wee, and Isaiah have hooked up. They hooked up twice in that game though. But talk about that play.
Yeah, that's just something we noticed they were adjusting to motion. So we decided, well, we can get them out of their coverage and motion them across and get them on the wheel route. And that's just something we saw on the replay. So we decided to take a chance with it, and it worked out well for us.
So 21-6 at the half. And then I was talking about it during the broadcast, you know what I mean? And I'm sure as a coaching staff, you're going, we need to score first. And then 2 plays from scrimmage, they get a big play.
Yeah, we that's definitely what we talked about. We had some adjustments in mind, and they get the ball to start the half. We're like, we got to get a stop and get the ball back, go down and score right back in this thing. And yeah, they think they had a big kickoff return.
Yeah, out to the 40.
That was a concern for us last night. We got to get better on our kickoff team, and we gave them good field position to start the half. That's something you don't want to do, and they scored in 2 plays. So
talking about kickoffs, it was interesting watching the game. They didn't kick it to number 2 and number 3, and I saw you made some adjustments. You know, they were kind of squibbing it. They were keeping it away from Isaiah and Caleb.
Yes, that's something we knew they were going to do going into the game. Their kicker's always a squib kicker, so we just got I mean, we did try to move guys up and get different guys in that second row that can, you know, advance the ball a little bit for us, get us better field position. And I thought for the most part we did a decent job with that, and minus the one they recovered. But yeah, you know, we just got to be ready for those kinds of plays.
I think really a key part of the game too. Great play by Trenton Juilliard, tipped the pass, and then Nolan just about caught it right at the goal line. You know, and you don't say woulda, coulda, shoulda, but if you do somehow get that one in the end zone and get a 2-point conversion, you're right in the game at that point.
It would have been a 1-score game.
It was still a great play, though, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a great play, and I think they did convert on third down again there. So it would have been, that would have been a fantastic play to get that one and score. He had a chance, but you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. You just got to move on and play the next down. So that would have been great. We would have been down 1 score and would have been a different ball game. There's a lot of those moments in the game, right, where we could have, if we would have executed and could have had that, we're right there in it. So that was another one of those moments.
Yeah, and then they scored a couple more touchdowns. Fourth quarter was scoreless. But one thing about Ricori, you know, to the depth on the line of scrimmage, and I know that's been a challenge this year, and our guys have done great. But they got a guy going to play for the U of M at 6'7", 250 or whatever, and another guy going to UND. That's some good football players. Yeah,
they definitely have some size on their line. And the one thing I did notice too was they have a lot of team speed on both sides of the ball, and their skill position is really, really deep. They didn't have a lot of two-way players.
Yeah.
So we definitely got worn down as the game went along. But you know, that's who we are, and we're going to adjust and we're going to get better from it.
So wouldn't it be great to see them later on this year?
Oh,
you know what I mean? They're playing in section 2-4A. We're in 8-4A, but you know, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we got to get through our section, and we can get into that state tournament. I think there's a chance we could see them again, and they're a team that we know we definitely can play with, but they're also a type of team that when we play, we got to limit our mistakes. We got to execute well and just play some football. And we're right there with them if we clean some things up for sure.
So it doesn't get any easier this Friday now, but you guys are up for the challenge. But Marshall comes to town with a good team, and then a short 5 days, you turn around, you play the last game on the road against Tech. But Friday will be a challenge too, won't it?
Yeah, Marshall is they have similar athletes to Ricori, but they're a different style team. Obviously, they like the pound, and then they'll hit you with some play action passes, and you know, I think definitely we're capable. And as a coaching staff, we got to sit down and kind of reevaluate ourselves and say, what can we do to get these kids in better positions, and how can we teach them better. So going into this week, that's what we're going to really focus on, and we can't blame the kids for everything, right?
No, not at all. Yep.
That's on us. I didn't feel like we were as prepared as we could have been. We had a lot of great ideas and going into this game, and we just got to get to the kids to the point where they feel confident and they can execute at a high level, and that's going to be the focus this week. And we'll get better, and we'll be ready for Marshall.
Yeah. You know, and one thing about that too, and my philosophy is there's never a good loss.
No.
I don't like when people say that. I know what they're getting at, but it does give you a chance to really look at things to get you prepared for the playoffs.
Oh, I definitely, I mean, this is game 6, right? It's not the playoffs.
Yeah.
We take the loss, and we got to learn some things from this and moving forward to see what we got to do to compete at a high level. And it's definitely stinks. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We're all competitors, players, coaches, everybody. We're competitors. We want to win them all. But I think, you know, if we're going to lose, it comes at a good time, because we gotta look in the mirror, reevaluate reset
Mhm.
and move on.
Yeah. And we're 5-1.
Yes.
You know, I asked you in the pregame show about that, you know, if you thought our team would be undefeated going in this game. And I would just say, you said in our first interview this year in the opening game that these guys want to establish their own identity, and they're certainly doing that, aren't they?
They are. You know, I'm proud of the kids. They've played a great season so far, and last night doesn't change that.
Mhm.
Still proud of them. Still love them. They're putting in the work. They're putting in the time, and they're having a great season. And we just gotta keep reminding them, you know, season's not over.
Mhm.
We got several more to go. So we gotta move on from this one, get better, and figure it out. So I know they will. They're gonna reset, and they'll be okay going into next week.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Chris, for coming in this morning and every week you can. Looking forward to next Friday night. And again, appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Our Coaches Show will continue after this break. Again, it's presented by the Viking Cafe. Remember, text Viking to 321-1926 and win yourself a $25 gift certificate to the Viking Cafe. We'll come back with more. We'll talk to Rachel Cox after this break.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
The 2025 model year closeout sale has begun at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. Right now, take advantage of big savings on the remaining 2025 vehicles in stock. Vehicles like the luxurious Buick Enclave, the stylish and efficient Buick Envista, or the powerful Chevy Silverado are at their lowest prices of the year and won't last long. Your new vehicle is waiting. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Hey, we're back here on the Coaches Show. Hey, don't forget, text 321-1926 to Viking Cafe. I'm enjoying some coffee, and they provide the breakfasts, and they sponsor our Coaches Show. And I'm joined by Rachel Cox, swimming and diving coach for the Lady Otters. And yeah, you guys had a busy week, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So you had a duel, Perham, New York Mills. They're combined in that one, and you guys came out on top of that one, 110-59.
Yeah. It was a good meet. It's always tough when we've got two in a week. The girls have to train a little bit differently. They've got to think about what they're going to bring to each meet a little bit differently. So we swam some events that we don't always swim, trying some different things just to get your head in a different space. Sometimes when you're swimming the same race over and over, you can get a bit of a mental block about it. So we tried some different things against Perham. We still had a great meet, and then we took it to the road and went to Tech on Thursday.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit too, being able to put people in different spots. I was never a swimmer. I enjoy following that too, but you know, if you're a sprinter and all of a sudden you're going to a distance, and I know some kids can do it all, but what's that transition like?
Yeah, some kids can, and honestly, on our team, most kids do.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're still kind of small, but I've got kids that are willing to do anything, especially that freshman class. They really want to see where their spot on the team is. So I've got kids coming up to me saying, I'd like to take another shot at the 200 IM, where my juniors and seniors are like, I'm good. I don't ever need to swim the 200 IM again. Yeah. It's a tough race. So, but I know that I can put people pretty much anywhere in the lineup. I know what I'm going to get from these swimmers. But you got swimmers like Olivia Jensen, who swims a 200 and a 500, like you're saying, longer distance. And then she shows up in our 200 free relay and swims a really strong 50. So we just practice it all. We have some practices where we're doing some longer distance sets. We have practices where we're doing some sprinting. So everybody is well-versed in everything.
And some of the great finishes, again, Estee Versteeg continues, winning races, and Riley Kubla and April or Ace and Hannah, those guys, just talk about what they continue to bring to the table.
Yeah, so those are my seniors this year. Yeah, they're having a great season. Like you said, Estee, I can put Estee in anything. I know what times I'm going to get from Estee. She's a great team player, but she also has a lot of personal goals. She wants to swim in college, so there's some times that she's trying to get this season before she heads into college next year. So she's been great. Riley Kubla has really come along in that sprinting spot for us. She's a great 50 freestyler and 100 freestyler. Ace has been doing the fly for quite a few years and just always coming along. You'll have to see what Ace does at sections. She's always surprising us.
Yeah.
And then we've got Hannah, who's been really solid in the backstroke and really coming along as a sprinter. I put her in that 50 spot at Tech, and she had another best time there. So 4 strong seniors.
Yeah. Talk about diving, too. And I was talking to Derek in our first interview, and he said that the divers are going to a meet, just a diving meet, too. And that's pretty cool to see, isn't it? But talk about your divers.
Sure. Our divers are headed to Sauk Rapids today to do an invite. During the regular season, for the most part, our divers do a 6-dive list. That's what is required in our dual meets. But when they get into that championship season, so for True Team, which we have coming up this week, and then conference and sections, it's an 11-dive list. So it's building that 11-dive list, being confident in all of those dives. But then it's also to try to find some places where you can try it. So that's why our divers hit the road today, so that they can go to an invite that does have an 11-dive list, so they can try it out in a competitive setting before we head to True Team.
All right. Then you go to Tech, and you win that one, 103.83. You go on the road. Talk about that meet and how your gals performed.
Yeah, it was kind of nice to get on the road. We've been home for a very long stretch.
You don't hear coaches say that a lot, but it is too, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, a home meet, there's a lot of setup. There's a lot of planning. You got to coordinate all your timers and the timing table and all those types of things. So it's kind of nice to get on the road. Our only losses this season have been on the road, so there's a little bit of nervousness there. But we went into Tech. I knew it was going to be a really competitive meet. They have a lot of divers and very competitive diving team. But we still came out in the end. We had some really strong swims, especially in that second half of the meet.
Awesome. Talk about your relay teams too, Rachel. I know they've been strong. And, just a little personal side note here. I know Evie and Este's grandparents pretty well.
Yeah.
And even in other meets, they're sisters and they compete against you. That's kind of fun. But talk about your relays and the sisters too. It's kind of a neat dynamic.
Sure. So we had at Tech, our medley relay. It was a very, very close race. They were, neck and neck. And at the very end, Riley just got out touched on that freestyle leg. But our freestyle relays, our 200 free and our 400 free, they've just really been unstoppable this season. And like you said, I've got the Versteegs. It was kind of fun in Tech because I had to move Ella, who's usually our lead leg on the 400 free relay. I moved her to the anchor leg because she was just getting out of the pool from the breaststroke, and I didn't want her to go back to back. So Estee led that off, and as they were calling the names in the relay, it was Versteeg.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Kubla, or I think it was Olivia. But it is fun, and we're noticing this season Evie's a little bit competitive with her sister. So we'll see what Evie's got next season too. But we also have the Toma sisters, and they're constantly in relays together as well, pretty evenly matched. So it's fun to watch that sibling dynamic. I mean, my kids were on the team at the same time too. It's fun when it's the whole family.
Yeah, that is for sure. But a really good finish there for your team, and pretty excited here now. You go to Apollo on Thursday, and then you have Wilmer, and then another meet. But things start to wind down here pretty quickly.
Yep. So we've got 2 duels left. Like you said, Apollo on Thursday, and then we'll have Wilmer the following Tuesday at home. That'll be our senior night. And then, like I said, we start into that championship season. So we've got True Team sections coming up a week from today. We got to travel up to War Road for that. It's a long trek.
Yep.
And then we'll have conference where we'll be back at St. Cloud Tech at their pool, and then moving into sections and state. So our dual season's wrapping up, and we're going to turn the corner to that championship season.
Talk to our viewers, listeners about True Team. I know on track it's the same thing, but how that works, and it's a little different from just a regular meet.
Right. So in a regular duel, you've got 3 JV entries and you got 3 varsity entries. So I can really have, 6 swimmers swimming in each event. We get 4 swimmers per event, and everybody's score counts. You have 32 possible scoring positions. So the more kids you can bring in and get scores, the higher that builds up. And then the winner there takes it to True Team State, which would be at the U of M in their aquatic center, which is an amazing facility. And that would be then the following Saturday.
Okay, that's how things wind down. So, training-wise, now in the next couple weeks, what are some changes, tapers, anything like it's? That's a hard thing, isn't it, to figure that out?
This is we're just about to the point in the season that the kids call the grind. We aren't traveling for those dual meets. We're not hosting dual meets, and so we have 5 days in a row of training, and we hit it very hard the next couple of weeks. We just kind of pile on the yards. We push them to kind of to that limit. And then as we turn towards sections, then we pull back, and that's when we move into that taper. But True Team and conference are tough because we are still training very hard before we go to those meets.
Yeah. I don't know, if our listeners understand, but I've always looked at swimming as probably one of the toughest sports where it takes a lot of grit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Isn't that true?
It absolutely is. I was talking to a colleague at one point, and he swam in high school and college, and he said, the thing I know about swimmers is that they never take the path of least resistance. They choose the path of most resistance.
Yeah, right. Water, always.
Yes. So it is tough. It's tough. It's a mental thing, too, because in, basketball, volleyball, you're talking to your teammates, you're communicating. Your head's down, you're looking at the bottom of a pool for 2 hours worth of practice. You're swimming, 5,000, 6,000 yards, and it's just a grind. So it is a special kind of kid who's got that grit and determination to do swimming.
Yeah, and to get up and go in the pool at 6 a.m. when it's 20 below. No, it's awesome. And you guys have had a great season, and good luck down the stretch.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, Rachel, and appreciate that a ton as they're winding down their season. And again, we'll be back with more on the Coaches Show, brought to you by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
The 2025 model year closeout sale has begun at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. Right now, take advantage of big savings on the remaining 2025 vehicles in stock. Vehicles like the luxurious Buick Enclave, the stylish and efficient Buick Envista, or the powerful Chevy Silverado are at their lowest prices of the year and won't last long. Your new vehicle is waiting. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Well, want to keep.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
The 2025 model year closeout sale has begun at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. Right now, take advantage of big savings on the remaining 2025 vehicles in stock. Vehicles like the luxurious Buick Enclave, the stylish and efficient Buick Envista, or the powerful Chevy Silverado are at their lowest prices of the year and won't last long. Your new vehicle is waiting.
Minnesota Motor.
South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
This is football. Hey, we're back here. The Coaches Show brought to you by the Viking Cafe. I'm enjoying some coffee in this nice Viking Cafe mug. And I'm joined by Corey Fry, head coach of the Hillcrest Lutheran Academy Comets. And Corey, do you have a hat? Did Craig give you a?
I don't have one of
those. Oh,
let's
go.
Yeah.
So Running Stitches Embroidery. These are awesome. You don't have to wear it right now.
Okay.
But,
thank you. I appreciate it.
For sure.
Yeah.
So Corey, head coach of the Hillcrest Comets, and 6-0 right now. Yep. And a 55-22 win over Norman County East Ulen Hitterdall. That's a mouthful, but you got after it early in the game, didn't you? 34-0 at the half.
Yep. That was one of the goals in this game, was getting out ahead of them pretty quick. Just with the way they run their offense and keep everything tight and try to control the time of possession and just kind of shrink the game a little bit. We wanted to make sure we were the aggressor in that aspect and make them chase us. And
your senior leadership group, Ethan Swedberg, a 15-yard run to start out the game. It's great to score first, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really great. Ethan's been able to kind of be that dual threat quarterback for us this year, and being able to force teams to have to think about his legs just as much as his arms, and having 14 seniors kind of help that, and especially at the 9-man level. You have 14 guys able to kind of go out there offensive and defensively. You're able to kind of really throw a lot of different schemes at teams.
With that, just looking at box scores and things too, but he throws for over 200 yards and runs for 100 yards. If you're a defensive coordinator on the other side of the football, with your receiving core, and you threw 3 touchdown passes.
Yep.
Wasn't it Blaskowski and Sean Berge and Peterson?
Yep.
That's a good start.
Yeah. And that's one of the things we kind of really seen coming these last few years, just with a lot of young guys getting experience up until, these seniors and then the juniors as well. Last night was one of those nights where you got to see everything. I think when I looked at the box score, it was 8 different players that got a chance to score last night, which was really nice to see just the balance of how effective our offense can be.
So 34-0 at the half, just from a coaching standpoint.
Yep.
You're in control, but what's your message to the team? And I know you got some different guys and different touches in the second half too.
Yeah. At halftime, our message was making sure we stay consistent. Kind of fix the little things within the game. One of those things that we as a team had to get better at was this was our most penalized game. So 9 penalties for, I think it was 80 or 90 yards going into the half. We needed to make sure we talked about that, fix those little things, because as you get further on and these games get tighter and different things, you want to make sure you're not beating yourself. And so that was one of our messages, just trying to make sure we stay consistent and keep everything rolling consistently. And the guys came out and was able to do that, and we were able to get a lot of younger guys in and consistently growing. And that's one of the big messages to our team is build the foundation. And so a lot of our young guys got meaningful varsity minutes, which those are things you just can't coach.
So Micah Rasmussen, 53-yard run. I've coached him in baseball and different things for the years, but he's got wheels and he's a competitor too. He played well defensively too.
Yeah. Mike is one of those young guys that we have high hopes for. It's almost like that light bulb has clicked on for him these last few weeks. And it's more so just he's starting to understand the game and get a better feel for it. And like you said, speed is a difference maker. And so when you're able to get out there and show that you have speed, it is one of those things that it's hard to coach, and teams, if you don't have the speed, you just can't catch it.
He probably had a big smile behind his grill on his helmet after that.
Yes, yeah.
That's fun to see. And then Levi Bowman scores a touchdown. Eli Walkup too, get in. So that's kind of exciting for those guys as well.
Yeah, Levi Bowman is one of those young men that has always been a primary defensive player for us, and one of the things we've been really trying to figure out who can be that second or third running back behind Ethan and Eli Walkup. And so Eli Bowman and Micah Rasmussen has been huge in trying to take over that rings. Eli Walkup, it amazes me week in and week out that he is still a freshman.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So
and Mike is a sophomore, and that's good. Yeah.
Yep. And so really seeing those things develop and those young men click is really nice to even think about future-wise as well. Yeah.
Let's go on the other side of the football.
Yep.
Griffin House, again, a big game defensively. But what does he mean to that defense?
He means everything to our defense. Griffin is one of those guys that he has played pretty much every snap of the football since he was a freshman. And he knows a lot of different positions. He's able to reset and get our defensive aligned in proper positions, but also communicate across the field, just with our calls and making sure everybody knows what's going on. And he's a hard worker through and through. And so those are the young men you always want on your team. So
yeah, for sure. Especially and again, having 14 seniors and 9 men and any team, it's 11 man. It's tremendous. Who else played well defensively for you?
Always we like to see Xander Knudsen is another one of those young men that he plays linebacker D line mix. And then Jerry Olson is a really good one. And then Dane Larby and Luke McGuire really controls that defensive line. And it allows us against teams like Uland just to kind of keep things muddied up or mucked up and just dominate the line of scrimmage there. So
really neat to see. I've covered some soccer too, and Kean Stender.
Yep.
He goes 5 for 5 in extra points, but I know that the Otters do that. A lot of teams do that. Someone off the soccer team. But talk about what it is as a coach to be able to just pretty count on an extra point.
Kean Stender is something else. Last night, I think I've only seen it once ever in my years of playing and coaching. We actually muffed a snap, and Sam, our quarterback, was able to kind of get the ball down, but he got the ball down flat.
Is that right?
And so Kean Stender actually watermelon kicked it through the uprights.
No, these guys aren't using kicking blocks anymore.
No,
because I kicked in high school, and you had that 2-inch block.
Yep, and some teams still use it.
You can, though.
Yep, you can still use it, but when you have a kicker like Kean Stender, you don't need it. And there was different spots, we were thinking like, how far out can we really use him? Because most of his kickoffs, depending on wind direction or anything like that, goes out the back of the end zone. And so you're always looking to see what is his range fully as well. But yeah, you can't replace it. We had to play a game earlier in the year without Kean, just because he had a soccer game.
Yeah.
And it was really tricky on how we were doing special teams that week. So it is a plus having him out there.
So you and Rod Jensen have a good agreement about that? And
Yep.
Does Rod say, Corey, I don't want him tackling? No, I just
No, it's one of those things we always say, hey, if you're a soccer player, make sure you go to soccer.
Yeah.
And Drew Fisher's another guy. They're able to go to soccer practice, get their time in, and then there's certain days for football that we're going over specialty things. And we just want to make sure we have them out. So that way they're not really burning themselves out doing double duty as well. So,
yeah.
Yep.
You being an athlete too, if there was a ball involved or something, were you there?
Yeah.
You were there. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Some guys that don't get a lot of credit is the guys on the line. And then I also think about long snappers, that too, how key they are. But talk about those guys.
Yeah. And that's where we were talking about, like how Dane Larby, Luke McGuire, Jeremiah Olson, Xander Knutson, those guys have really this year have been our heart and soul. We really don't have high numbers on our offensive defensive line, and those guys have been so interchangeable and kind of protecting themselves, protecting our quarterbacks, making it easy for our linebackers to really read and react. And so it's a blessing when you have guys like that's able to kind of really grind out games and be able to put you out in front. So,
it seems like it's kind of a common thing to find a lot of linemen or guys that want to play line.
Yep.
But that as well as anybody, without those guys on the line of scrimmage, you really can't do a thing.
Right. And especially with how we try to run our spread offense, we always say we're more like a power spread where we really want to run the football, but we still also want to hit our guys on the outside. So without those linemen, we can't do much. So
yeah. So Underwood comes to town on Friday.
Yeah, we go to Underwood.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, you go to Underwood.
Yep.
A team that's maybe not as strong as they have been in the past, in all due respect. But what's your message to your team at 6-0? You're leading the section. Getting some good recognition around the state. But what's your message right now?
Yeah, I think our guys always know it. We have kind of like our goals list. Underwood is always on that list, no matter if they're having what we say would be a down year or anything like that. But Underwood's still Underwood.
Yeah,
they're still a dangerous team, and it's a rivalry game. I'm pretty sure Coach Herrick over there is really getting his guys motivated and ready to go, because they can still win a game.
For sure.
And we have to make sure we're not underselling it or overlooking it as well. So we'll still go through all of our regular routines and different things and be prepared because, as you know, and especially in this section, anything can happen any given week. And so we're expecting their best. So,
yeah. Kind of a little different question now. I like to do things, we talk about the football, but I travel on Elcott a fair amount when I'm traveling, coming by the field, and it's one of my ways home sometimes, just off the beaten path. But your field, watered, cut, lined. Give a shout out to the guys working on that field, because I would say as far as grass fields and 9-man, we got the best field.
Yeah,
I just like to give some shout outs.
Yeah, and that's one of those ones we've have been fortunate enough to have, like Byron Miller, Ben Hike is really take time out to really put extra time into the field. And this year, we've really been blessed. We added extra dirt to kind of fill in a few down spots and everything. And so it's really nice. Also a special shout out to Eric Knutson, who This is the first time we had our real Shield logo on the field, so that was really nice. We heard a lot of people excited about that. So, yeah, so it's just one of those things where it's really a blessing to have people that care about Comet football, but also being able to give us somewhere to play.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
As you're striving for excellence, all those different things mean a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, Corey, appreciate your time coming in, and you guys are having a great year.
Yep.
And also developing young men too. That's an important part too, isn't it?
Yes. Making sure we model what a faith-driven life looks like, and also making sure we model what being great football players look like as well. So,
all right. Thanks, Corey. Make sure to grab some biscuits and gravy.
Yeah, thank you.
From the Viking Cafe.
Yeah.
And again, don't forget to text Viking to 321-1926 to be entered into a drawing at the end of the show. So thanks, Corey.
Yeah, appreciate it.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
The 2025 model year closeout sale has begun at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. Right now, take advantage of big savings on the remaining 2025 vehicles in stock. Vehicles like the luxurious Buick Enclave, the stylish and efficient Buick Envista, or the powerful Chevy Silverado are at their lowest prices of the year and won't last long. Your new vehicle is waiting.
Minnesota Motor.
South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show. Mark Johnson filling in for Craig Olson. He and his wife, he and Sue are traveling to the East Coast to help with some medical needs of his brother. I'm joined by Paul Hicks, head coach of the Otter girls soccer team. And Paul, yeah, it's been a little tougher week for you guys, running some very good teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Detroit Lakes, when you have two games back to back, that's kind of a handful, isn't it?
No, it makes for some, very tired legs. And I mean, DL was one that got away from us. That was one that we kind of felt we could have been or should have been more competitive in. But yeah, it doesn't help when you have a tough competition like DL and then you go into an even tougher one, sort of with the Crush. So I was gonna call them Tigers, but the Crush.
I know it. We'll talk about that one in a second. Let's talk about the game up in Detroit Lakes. So it was 5-2 was the score there. Sierra Choa gets a goal and Edie Helgeson gets a goal as well. But talk about that one. How did the first half unfold for you?
We let a couple of quick ones in easy, and then it's getting that mentality of not hanging your head. It's high school sports. I mean, it's going to be tough to get a clean sheet every time. So we've just got to get that mentality of, they scored, we've got 75 more minutes left of the game. Let's keep going. And then sort of second half, we kind of let in another, our sort of middle collapsed a little bit, and they were able to run rampant and get two more. But I mean, it was an even and a more even match than like the scores give it credit for.
Yeah. So you get those two goals though, and you kind of start to believe a little. But it's tough to if you get 5 in soccer, there's a good chance you're going to win.
Yeah, no, it's a hard 5 is a hard one to come back from. You just kind of hope, like I say, that after the first one, if you let one in first, you've got to kind of keep your head up and push for 2. and not sort of sag back, which is a hard thing to mentality switch to change.
Yeah. And then you take on a very good St. Cloud team and I've, over the years, it's just interesting how things have changed as far as, you have the Tech Tigers and of course Cathedral is always good. And you had Apollo and now you have the Crush, community of 60,000+ people. That's hard to compete against.
It is. I mean, we have a funny little section that we play in, and a sort of an even funnier conference that we play in, and it's there's a lot of outlying sort of cities in the Fergus Falls kind of, if you want to call it, rural community. But yeah, to go sort of from St. Cloud all the way to sort of Moorhead, and you look at everything in between, you have some big schools and you have some sort of medium schools, and then you have tiny schools, and we fit in that funny little range of too big to go in the smaller, but too small to, and so, yeah, we just have to weather the storm and play the best we can and hopefully sort of start competing.
Talk about the class system in soccer. I know there's been some changes recently, but just talk about that and where we sit.
We're in 8A, or AA, sorry. So we're in the middle. Yeah. We're right in the middle. There is one below us and there's one above us, and we're nowhere near 3A.
Yeah,
not even close. But the gap, that middle gap, is huge. And so if we were to go into A, we'd be playing kind of Crookston and a few teams, sort of Hillcrest, I believe, is A. And so unfortunately we sit with too many enrolled for that. But when you get into 2A, yeah, we're playing other schools that probably are very similar size, which is great, like your DLs and such. But then you also have to compete with sort of some of the bigger, the sort of St. Cloud Techs or Crush, sorry, and the kind of Sartells of this world that are bigger, much bigger than we are, and have sort of a lot more girls to choose from.
Yeah. Talk about goaltending. I know, Ava Thompson's been doing a good job, and then work your way out defensively, that way forward too. Yeah.
Ava's done a fantastic job. I mean, it's hard to sort of say how well Ava's played when you have a game sort of like Tech or Crush where it's 10 in. But what people don't realize about some of those games is that everybody has an error, and so it might have, we had a few that possibly could have been called back. She had one where she was sort of injured and down, and the Crush player just kind of put it over because it was, she was playing to the whistle, but she came up huge. She stopped a PK in that game. She made some really big saves. It could have been a lot worse, and she's done that throughout the season, and that's fantastic.
Defensively, as well too. I know that they don't get a lot of recognition too. No. You're battling, but who's been playing well defensively for you right now?
I mean, the entire defensive line has played fantastic. Ella Dirkman, this is her first year of playing soccer, and she's stepped up and been huge. And there's little things we can all improve on, but for being thrown into the deep end, she's done great.
She's aggressive. I know she's a competitor.
Yep, our entire back line is aggressive. Avery Tonneson. We were hoping to put her up sort of more forward, but I mean, she's sort of sacrificed her own sort of wishes and been steady in the defense, and would always give you 110, 120% when she's back there. And she's solid as a rock and knows exactly what she's doing. And then we have Shay, one of our captains, Shay Katzmeyer. She's switched again. She was another girl that played sort of more midfield the last few years. But her talents truly lie sort of in the back line and sort of defending them. And she's a little thing, but she's a minx when she's back there and likes to cause a little havoc and likes to protect the rest of her line. She's the first one that steps up if somebody else is trying to bully one of her defenders. And Kenzie Zender's another girl she plays with her heart on her sleeve, and she's sort of got a few injuries going on, but she will always battle through them. So they've played solid the entire year, and like you say, a lot of times defense don't necessarily get the credit that they deserve.
Yeah, how about your mids in the forwards?
Mids have been fantastic too. It's we're trying to find a few positions. We think we've got them set, but we've got like Edie Helgeson is a freshman this year, and she plays way above what a freshman should play. So she's been doing great. Aubrey Nelson is another girl who's used to play forward, but we just feel her skill set is better coming back. And then we've got we've got nice speed on our wings. LSM, she's been injured, but she was doing fantastic before her injury, and Belarus stepped up huge to fill in that role. And then you've got kind of the experience of Anna Sem and Olivia Jurgens that have been playing for a while, and so they can kind of help bring some experience and sort of calm to the game when needed.
You know, most of our Fergus athletes are multi-sports, and you mentioned a lot of those girls play hockey. You have a daughter plays hockey, but it translates, doesn't it? And basketball and others do too.
It does in many ways. It translates, but then in a lot of others it doesn't. And so
it's hard to just carry the soccer ball.
And sort of hockey is obviously a very fast-paced game, so you kind of want to keep your eye on the puck and know where the puck is the entire time. Whereas in soccer, you've got a ginormous field, and you've got to be aware of everything going on the field, not just where the ball is. So that's a habit that's a hard one to break, of just focusing in on the ball and not paying attention to your surroundings.
I was talking to Rachel Cox, swimming and diving coach, and I said, boy, you know, swimmers really physically, you know, it's grueling and demanding, but I would put soccer right up there too. Isn't it something like you run like 4 miles, or you know, if they do that
easily? I mean, some of the
put your Apple Watch on, and
some of those mids probably get sort of a good 8 to 9 by the time they're done. And for a lot, I mean, we've got a lot of subs, which is great. But if you take like our defense, a lot of times our defense don't come out, and it's the same with sort of some of the forwards. A lot of times the forwards don't come out. You're just hoping that you can catch your breath while the ball's sort of in somewhere else, in another space, and then you just kind of saunter to where you think you should be, so you're ready to make that next sprint.
Yeah. So you close out with Albany this morning. I know there's a 10 o'clock right JV, and then you guys play after that. But talk about the Huskies and the challenge they will be.
I think it's going to be a very evenly matched game. That when you talk about A and 2A, they, I believe, are an A school. But we have very similar records. We've played very similar opponents, and so it's you know, I always say there's anybody can win on any given day, and so I mean it's not one that we can just overlook. It's they're a tough battling team. If I remember from last year, or a couple of years ago, they had a really good midfield that likes to dictate their play, and so we've just got to play our game and try stay on the front foot and keep a positive mentality when things are sort of, if the things don't necessarily go our way, and try and bring that around for the sort of the greater good of the team.
Yeah, and you'll be seeding on Monday. Is that my understanding, right? So yeah.
Yep.
Most likely on the road, but
more than likely on the road, and we're prepared, and we've got an idea of who it is we're going to face. But like I say, you can have that is one. If you ask me to explain QRF, I think I just walk out the door.
I know you talk to a lot of coaches like that. Some like coaches, some like QRF, but there was some actuary or statistician, you know that.
And I have no idea how it works. It's like I just look at wins and losses.
Yeah, you know, that's right. So Paul, also, you know, you coached with Ben Jurgens a number of years, but as head coach now, what's that transition been like for you? And, you know, what are some of the things you've learned and things you want to try to, just accomplish?
It's an odd transition, I must admit, because I coached with Ben from when he coached the boys, and then I coached with Ben when he coached the girls. So, I mean, I learned a lot from just being around Ben, and I Ben's a fantastic guy, and he always did what was best for the team. So I've tried to carry that through. There's not an individual, it's a team mentality. And so we keep working on the basics. My philosophy is if you can do the simple things right, then you can build from that. So we always try and keep the game as simple as we can and grow in confidence within the first 5-10 minutes of the game. And then hopefully from there you can start adding to it. But the one thing that Ben did fantastically is he too wore his heart on his sleeve. It was very easy for Ben to kind of come up with the words the girls needed to hear at those moments. And I'm not a rah-rah kind of person. I never have been my entire life. I've never been a rah-rah kind of person. I've always just been about business, get the job done, you know, bish, bash, bosh.
Yeah.
We're finished. And so I got to work on that and probably get more connected with my emotions than I am on an everyday basis.
You know, one thing, thinking about that too, is I know I had an older daughter that played soccer, and Ben would be talking to kids in the hallway, recruiting kids. But how are the numbers, you know, in the program right now?
We have quite a few. We have a good chunk of freshmen coming up. I mean, there's not just Edie. We've got Bria Larson and Jordan Anderson. I mean, I could name them all. Emma Michaels. But yeah, there's a lot of freshmen that are coming up that hopefully, you know, if once it clicks for them, it's nice that we have a few years to get it clicking for them. And then we were able to get a few juniors that this is their first year, and it's fantastic to have them just to kind of have their size and athleticism. It's just bringing them up to speed on the game. And then from what I understand, the middle school team has a number of 8th graders that, so, you know, steadily we're building. It's building the program. It's nice to not be the only. I mean, when we used to have JV girls, it would be just me sitting on the bench with Trevor Jaffe.
Sure, yeah.
We didn't have the numbers to be able to have a JV coach, and then, like I say, we didn't even have the numbers to have anybody on the bench.
Yeah,
and so we've still got some girls that have to play both, but we at least have a dedicated varsity this year, which is the first time in quite a while that girls are only having to play one game.
Yeah.
And then just a handful are having to play 2. So we're just hoping that those numbers can sort of steadily increase, so we can actually, you know, there's battles for positions and then they can each push each other.
Yeah, that's awesome. With each of our coaches, I've been asking some little different questions to kind of get people to know our coaches more and more. But just briefly, can you share about your soccer journey and what you, as a player, and what brought you to coaching?
Well, I never actually really played soccer. Field hockey was my game.
Okay. Yeah.
But then when
I know nothing about.
Yeah.
I wish I did.
Yeah. I mean, but I as a kid I did, and I played on like the school and the scout team and stuff. But then when I moved here, we thought it would be a great way. I didn't know football, couldn't skate to save my life, so we felt it was an easy way to make friends and such. And so then I started, and then coaching. I just happened to be. I was working in Fergus and happened to be driving by Cleveland Field, so I thought I'd seen them practicing, so I thought I'd stop and talk to Ben and Scott Bjerke. And it turned out that was Scott Bjerke's announcing to the kids that he was going to retire.
Okay.
And so they asked me if I wanted to stick around, and I've not left. I've been a little limpet on the bottom of a boat. I've just never left the keel, and now I was lucky enough to kind of coach with Scott for 1 year, and then I've had the privilege of coaching with Ben pretty much since then, and it's been great. And it's every year is a different year, but I mean the kids are always fantastic. Win, lose, or draw, it's for the kids as much as you can.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I hope you have a good game against Albany. Look forward to the results of that. And one more thing, too. Do you have a new KBRF Sports hat yet?
I do.
You do? Okay, you don't have to wear it. We just want to make sure. And Zach is smiling behind the camera. But
we're from Fergus. We'll take anything for free.
We love hats, too. So thanks a lot, Paul.
No, thank you.
Our Coaches Show will continue after this timeout. Again, brought to you by the Viking Cafe. Don't forget, Viking to 321-1926, and we will be drawing for a winner, $25 gift certificate. We'll come back with more.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
The 2025 model year closeout sale has begun at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. Right now, take advantage of big savings on the remaining 2025 vehicles in stock. Vehicles like the luxurious Buick Enclave, the stylish and efficient Buick Envista, or the powerful Chevy Silverado are at their lowest prices of the year and won't last long. Your new vehicle is waiting.
Minnesota Motor.
South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Hey, we're back. Coaches Show. Zach Daniels is our engineer. I'm joined by Jamie Lill. Again, Viking Cafe brings us our Coaches Show each Saturday morning. And hey, a busy week, but how exciting. You're going to the section finals in Becker next Friday, and you have 5 individuals advancing to the individual tournament. So
yes.
Let's talk, let's go back and, as I look at your record here, there's only one L on there. That was the Alexandria.
Yeah. Yep. Darn those Cardinals.
Yeah, but a lot of W's. But talk about that Sauk Rapids, you swept them 7-0.
Yep. So we knew as the top seed, Sauk Rapids was coming as the 8, and we had handled them pretty easily the first time, and we expected more of the same, and we got that. We had one slow start in that match, but other than that, we dropped 7 total games outside of that set. So
yeah, wow.
The girls really came out and just kind of took care of business, which is what we expected from them, and they showed up ready to play, and it was a great match.
Yeah. With this group too, emotionally, mentally preparing for games, do you have to get them jacked up much, or they're just competitors and just ready to roll?
Well,
what's it like in tennis too?
Yeah.
It's different.
Well, they're so innately just hardworking, great kids. They just want to work hard. They want to do the right things. So that lives there with them. I think one of the things, after we beat Sauk Rapids, then we knew we had Little Falls, which was going to be a much bigger test for us on Wednesday. But the girls are so good at encouraging each other and uplifting each other and just staying positive out there, and that's really part of the battle. In tennis, you're going to make almost as many mistakes as you do winners, just even the pros do. So just learning to keep working hard through that is a good thing, and we've been kind of working on our mental game, like how to stay positive out on the court if things aren't going our way, and the girls are really, they're clinging to that, and I don't have a girl that I'm worried isn't going to go for a ball every time. Like one of the coaches was saying this week, even she's just like, I can't believe you girls, they never give up on a ball. They're up 6-0, 5-0, and they will not give up on a ball. And I'm, yeah, that's good stuff. That's what we want them to do.
And there's something about that. Sometimes, when you have that mentality, you get to stuff that you never think you'll get to.
Absolutely. And it's great to watch. We've got so many girls who just are such good athletes anyway, but somebody will think they hit a winner against Ruby, and then the ball comes back again, and they're like, what? And they think they hit another one, and she'll just keep going. And Allie, and just so many girls out there that are so good at reading the court and knowing what's going on and where they should be, and they just put themselves in positions where they can keep the point going.
So you beat the Flyers there to advance in the finals 5-2, but talk about your singles and doubles and just how that shook out.
Yep. So we knew the Flyers are really strong in their singles lineup, and we are very strong in our doubles, depending on the day, where we put people. And we knew Ruby had a good shot. She had already beaten Brooke Litke early this year in a close match, and Ruby went out and double bageled her. So she kind of handled business there.
I like that term, double
the
bagel.
double bagel.
I'm going to rip that one out.
Yep. And Carson wants me to call it a double donut because she wants 2 donuts every time they do that. But, and then the rest of their singles kind of followed suit with being super tough. Olivia Litke, the top 2 are twins, and she gave Layla everything she could handle and ended up getting the win there. And Allie played a really tough girl at 3. And Signe also. And Signe came back, had lost to this girl earlier this season and came back and got the win for us that day. So that was awesome. And then our doubles just handled business. Yeah, they just kind of cruised through. But Little Falls did the right thing. That you need 4 points, and they got to try their best way to get them, and their best chance against us that day was singles.
Yeah. So a 5-2 win there. You advance to the finals. Now you go to Becker next Friday. You get the team on Friday, the individuals, but is that indoor too, or do you go indoors now?
So everything now will be played indoors. We play at a facility called Stay Fit. It's in Sartell. It's very nice tennis bubble. The only downfall is there's only 5 courts there, so you can't get everybody on at once. But the wind is good in there. The sun's not in your eyes. So we've got a lot of good things going when we get to play inside. One downfall for our girls is we are the best lobbing team I've seen in all of my years. And it's good for us because we can push people back and then they run into the curtain and they can't even get at the ball. So that's helpful. But when we start lobbing, other people tend to pick up on that and try to throw us into the wall as well. But
and you've played inside twice this year, right? With weather, was it once or twice?
3 times.
Oh, 3 times.
Ended up, First season we've done that in the regular season. So the girls are getting familiar with the facility, which is awesome leading into this. So we will see Becker at that facility on Friday at 3 for the section final, which is pretty exciting. It's been, I think, 2003, Derek. That was the last time we had a girls team in the section finals. And we've never had a girls team head on beyond that. So we are looking forward to that for sure. And we like the way we stacked up against Becker. So hopefully they come out just ready to go like they did this week.
Yeah. And then, yesterday, your singles and, just looking at Layla Zolzol, had a tough match, didn't advance, but Allie advanced, and then your 2 doubles teams advanced. Talk about that.
So we'll start with singles if we can. So Layla went in as the 5 seed, and rightfully so. And it's hard to get a 5 seed when you play second singles. But people around the section realize that when you got Ruby ahead of you, you're still a really good tennis player up there. So she got seated above some of the number 1 girls. And she went out there and she played a great first round for sure. And then Layla's second round was a girl from Becker that she had just played the week before when we were in Becker. And it was an absolute battle. And she dropped us at 7-5. It was close in there. But this girl is just very athletic, just kind of gets to everything and puts everything back in play. And Layla battled hard, and her scores didn't even sound quite as close as the match was. She was in the entire match there, but ended up falling to that number 4 seed, which is, I guess, what's supposed to happen. That's what they're seeded. But Layla played very well, and she should be proud of that. And then Allie Bradenberg went in as our other singles player this year, and as an unseeded player, not because Allie's not worthy of a seed probably, but she plays 3rd singles because we got studs ahead of her.
You had good depth.
Yep. And she went in and faced the number 6 seed first, and kind of took care of business in that match, honestly. And then she got a little bit of a break, and then she faced the number 3 seed, also from Becker. And Allie went out there just guns a-blazing. And it's hard to, Allie's the kid who will run into a fence or she'll dive for a ball or whatever. So you can't stop her with that. And the great thing about Allie yesterday is she had learned that her consistency was going to win this because she was playing a girl with some really big shots, huge serve, huge forehand, but she could get off and spray them around and whatever. And Allie hung in there. And the most clutch thing was at the end of that first set, it ended up in a tiebreak, of course, as the drama does, and Allie's up 6-3. So she's got 3 set points that her opponent fought off. And then Allie had set points against her, and ended up coming back to win that first set 10-8 in a tiebreak that's supposed to go to 7. So there was a little drama involved there.
I bet there was a lot of everybody watching. And,
Oh, super exciting. And just what a great effort from Allie. And she came back, and then the second set, she ended up dropping 4-6, tight the whole way. It's just game for game. And after the second set, we were talking, and I'm like, Allie, you run cross country and you play tennis, and we both know that you are the fitter player out here right now. So you are just going to keep moving her around and managing the things you can. Allie's serve was on. She's always game for anything. And she actually went against the number 3 seed and got a 6-1 third set.
Wow.
So it was amazing tennis for Allie, and just what a booster for her, and so exciting that she's moving on to next weekend.
And the doubles, Hattie and Ashton, and then also, or Ruby and Ashton, pardon me, and then Hattie and your daughter Dylan as a freshman. Talk about those 2 sets of groups.
We've got a couple new doubles teams there. So Ruby and Ashton played together and got the 1 seed, and Hattie and Dylan played together and got the 2 seed. And
Is there
I guess
some extra pressure with that sometimes?
Kind of, but I think these girls,
Respect.
it doesn't phase them. But like, we went to the seating meeting, and I'm like, these girls haven't played together enough. I don't know what's going to happen. And we sat down, and the other coaches are like, well, Fergus gets the 1 and 2. And I'm like, okay, at least you all saw what we saw. So the girls hardly in either match, dropped a game at all. It was great to see Hattie's such a great leader on the court. She just kind of scooped Dylan under her wing and said, let's go. And Dylan rose to that. They were serving so well. They were really fun to watch, putting balls away, just finishing points so tough at the net. And then with Ruby and Ashton, kind of more of the same. They started a little slow the first time, and it is an adjustment. Ruby's a singles player, so sometimes we're like, Ruby, you got to get on that side of the court. Like, she'll handle this
It's
side.
kind of like volleyball too. Mine, yours, mine. No.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but real quick into the first match, they finished that, and their second match was actually against a very good team, and they double baggled that one. So next weekend will be a lot more interesting. The doubles seeds fell through so the 1, 2, 3, 4 will be there.
Okay.
So should be some really, really good tennis next weekend, and we're hopeful that we can come out of there.
How does that work now as far as the seeding for the next time you play the individuals?
Well,
they maintain the same seeds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Typically, we've had a subsection and a section tournament, but with the new arrangement this year, we don't. So this is just the continuation. So Ashton and Hattie, the 1 seed, will play the 4, and then Ashton and Ruby, and then Dylan and Hattie are the 2, so they'll play the 3, which is the Lit Key twins from Little Falls, and we're familiar with these teams, all good players, but I do have good faith that our girls will play well and come out strong. And Allie's draw, also another unseeded player made it through.
Okay,
so there were some upsets on the singles. So Allie's got a good shot next week at going and doing some things. So
that's
pretty
awesome.
excited about it.
So now you don't play until Friday. But what's this week of practice look like for you? Because it's a longer stretch because you've been busy.
Yeah, we don't usually get more than 1 day at a time ever. So we've got 4 days. Well, this week we've got some special guests coming in to hit the ball hard at the girls and give them some different spins and looks and just work a little bit every day. And the great thing is often we've moved on as individuals, but not as a team. We got the whole team there getting prepped for Becker. So it's going to be an exciting week. We'll probably try not to hit it so hard every day, but we'll be ready.
Well, great year, and I know having some daughters on the team and the seniors, too. Whatever happens, it's been a great season.
Absolutely, nothing that we're just loving every minute of it, and we just like to see it continue.
All right, let's keep it going.
Yeah.
So, Zach, do you have our winner? We'll take a short break, and we'll come back, and we'll give away our Viking Cafe $25 gift certificate.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
The 2025 model year closeout sale has begun at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. Right now, take advantage of big savings on the remaining 2025 vehicles in stock. Vehicles like the luxurious Buick Enclave, the stylish and efficient Buick Envista, or the powerful Chevy Silverado are at their lowest prices of the year and won't last long. Your new vehicle is waiting.
Minnesota Motor.
South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
All right, we're back, and thanks for sticking around, Jamie.
Yeah, you
and
bet.
we've done this before. Last time I hosted for Craig, it was one of your tennis parents that won.
Yeah.
And I think we have our winner of the Viking Cafe $25 gift to it must be connected to football, but it's Kathy Budke. And so Zach, she'll just come by the studio and get her gift certificate, $25 or yeah. Yeah, and my family, as we're speaking, is eating breakfast there. They're probably done now, but I'm going to grab some biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
and head out. So, but,
There's some good stuff. I saw
Yeah.
the bacon.
yeah. So thanks to Zach Schramm, our studio engineer. Thanks, Jamie, for coming in. Craig Olson, again, gone. I'm filling in for him, but don't forget to tune in and check out Craig Olson Sports for all you need to know on our Layton media station. So everybody have a great rest of the day.
Thank you for joining us for the News Talk 1250 KBRF Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe and brought to you by the Minnesota Motor Company, Lake Region Healthcare, Nelson Auto Center, Quality Toyota, and Running Stitches.